What if I told you two of Asia's fastest growing economies are battling for the top spot? Who's winning? The Philippines or Vietnam? Stick around because this comparison might surprise you and could even hold the answer to Southeast Asia's economic future. Did you know that Vietnam has become a global manufacturing hub while the Philippines is redefining itself as a tech and service-driven economy? Here's a twist you might not have expected. Vietnam may dominate in exports, but the Philippines has a secret weapon: its people and innovation. This rivalry isn't just about numbers, it's about which nation has the strategy to win the long game. Keep watching because the answer could change how you see Southeast Asia in 2024. In 2024, the Philippines and Vietnam stand as two of Southeast Asia's brightest stars. Both nations have overcome decades of challenges to rise as economic powerhouses, but their paths couldn't be more different. Vietnam has built its success on manufacturing. Did you know that Vietnam is now the second largest electronics exporter, just behind China? Companies like Samsung, Nike, and Intel have invested billions into its economy, transforming Vietnam into a global manufacturing giant. Exports alone account for 93% of its GDP, an incredible achievement and a potential risk. The Philippines, meanwhile, is pursuing a service-driven strategy. It's the world's most significant business process outsourcing (BPO) player, generating over $35 billion annually. But it's not stopping there. With a young, tech-savvy workforce, the Philippines is becoming a hub for digital services, fintech, and AI startups. In 2024, the Philippines is doubling down on innovation. This isn't just a rivalry between economies, it's a battle between two strategies: manufacturing dominance versus service and tech leadership. So, who's winning? Let's break it down. Economic numbers that shock. Let's compare the numbers. Vietnam's GDP growth in 2024 is projected at a robust 6.2%. Did you see that its export revenue hit $420 billion this year? Vietnam's factories work overtime, producing everything from electronics to textiles to meet global demand. On the other hand, the Philippines' GDP growth is expected to hit 5.9% in 2024. While slightly lower than Vietnam's, the Philippines has a more balanced economic structure. Domestic consumption accounts for 70% of GDP, making it less vulnerable to global slowdowns. You might not know that remittances from Filipino workers abroad brought in $37 billion in 2024. This stable cash flow supports millions of families and boosts domestic spending. But there's another layer to this story. Vietnam's heavy reliance on exports makes it vulnerable to global economic shifts. Meanwhile, the Philippines' reliance on consumption has risks, especially with inflation hovering around 5.3% this year. Both countries are growing fast, but each has vulnerabilities: infrastructure and investment. Let's talk about infrastructure, one area where Vietnam has the edge. Did you know Vietnam has over 17 industrial parks specifically built to attract foreign investors? The country's seamless logistics and modern ports make it a magnet for global brands. In contrast, the Philippines still struggles with infrastructure bottlenecks. If you've ever been stuck in Manila's traffic, you know how frustrating it can be. These inefficiencies cost the economy billions every year. However, there's good news. The Philippines is ramping up investments in transportation and energy projects under its Build Better More program. In 2024, new airports, expressways, and railways are under construction, signaling progress, but it's still playing catch-up. Both nations are also betting big on renewable energy. Vietnam leads in solar and wind power, while the Philippines invests in geothermal and hydroelectric projects. These moves aren't just about energy, attracting investors who value sustainability, workforce, and demographics. The workforce is a major battleground in this rivalry. Vietnam's population of 100 million is younger and more urbanized, providing a steady stream of workers for its factories. Labor costs are competitive, but the challenge is upskilling. The government invests heavily in vocational training training, aiming to make Vietnam a high-tech manufacturing hub. The Philippines, with a population of 114 million, has an equally young workforce, but its workers' English proficiency and adaptability set them apart. Did you know the Philippines ranks among the top in Asia for English fluency? This gives it a significant advantage in BPO, tourism, and global tech services. But here's where it gets interesting. While Vietnam is focused on blue-collar jobs in factories, the Philippines is building a knowledge-based workforce. In 2024, initiatives like Digital Philippines aim to train thousands of young Filipinos in coding, AI, and blockchain. This difference in focus could decide the future of both economies. Challenges. Let's not forget the challenges. Vietnam's over-reliance on exports means that any global slowdown could hit its economy hard. The country also faces a brain drain problem. Its brightest minds are often lured abroad by higher-paying opportunities. The Philippines, on the other hand, faces a different set of challenges. Its infrastructure and bureaucracy are often cited as barriers to growth. Although improving, corruption remains an issue. Inflation is another concern. Did you know that food prices in the Philippines surged by over 8% in 2024? This hurts the domestic consumption that drives its economy. So, what's the solution? Vietnam must focus on innovation and create homegrown tech giants to reduce its dependency on foreign investors. The Philippines, meanwhile, must accelerate its infrastructure projects and attract more foreign direct investment in manufacturing and tech. Future trends and opportunities. Looking ahead, both countries have immense opportunities. Vietnam is emerging as a leader in high-tech agriculture and renewable energy. The government's push for innovation could create the next wave of growth. The Philippines, meanwhile, is banking on its tech sector. Did you know that Philippine-based startups raised over $1 billion in funding in 2024? This indicates that the country is becoming a serious player in Southeast Asia's tech scene. Tourism is another area of focus for the Philippines. With over 7,000 islands, it welcomed more than 6 million tourists in 2024, contributing billions to the economy. Vietnam, too, is capitalizing on its rich cultural heritage, but the Philippines' unique combination of natural beauty and hospitality gives it an edge in this sector. Who's winning in 2024? So, who's leading Southeast Asia in 2024? Vietnam's manufacturing dominance gives it a decisive edge in global trade, while the Philippines' focus on services and tech offers a more balanced growth strategy. But here's the big picture. Both nations drive Southeast Asia's rise as an economic powerhouse. The rivalry isn't just about competition, it's about complementing each other's strengths. Together, they're shaping the future of the region. Did you know Southeast Asia is projected to grow by 5.6% on average this year? Vietnam and the Philippines are at the heart of this transformation, proving that the region is a participant and a global economic leader. If you found this breakdown of Vietnam and the Philippines insightful, hit that like button and share this video with your friends. Subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the world's most exciting economies, and see you in the next video.